evening. You're watching the news on African Free Press Television. I am Leo. Okay, and these are the stories we're tracking for you at this hour. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) has kicked against the advice by the Attorney General of the Federation, Mr. Abubakar Malami, to the All Progressive Congress (APC) that the party can substitute its late candidate in the Kogi State governorship election. The PDP also asked Mr. Malami to immediately vacate his office for harrying and misleading the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) into arriving at the decision. In a statement by the opposition party spokesman Olisa Meto, the party said it was shocked that INEC, a supposedly independent electoral umpire, could allow itself to succumb to the antics of the APC by following the unlawful directive of an obviously partisan AGF to substitute a candidate in the middle of the ballot process. The electoral body had earlier said it would allow the APC to look for a candidate to fill the vacancy created by the death of Mr. Abubakar Audu before supplementary election that would hold on December 5th in 91 polling units where elections were cancelled. The Southeast Revival Group Sedge has cautioned the federal government to treat cautiously in its handling of the clamor for self-determination by the people of the Southeast who are pressing for the actualization of the Republic of Biafra. The group, while recalling that this was how Boko Haram started, warned that dismissing the legitimate agitation as that of street urchins will amount to making the same mistakes government made during the formative stages of Boko Haram, as they were ignored. It also demanded the immediate and unconditional release of the director of Radio Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, who was arrested in Lagos by the Department of State Services, DSS, when he returned to Nigeria from the United Kingdom. National Coordinator of Sedge, Chief Willie Ezugo, in a statement said, "It is important that the federal government acts now before it is too late, since the agitation is mostly intellectually driven at this stage." And meanwhile, about 500 Nigerians deported from the United Kingdom arrived at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos on Tuesday. According to the BBC, they were brought into Nigeria on a chartered flight from London. Some of them are said to be stranded at the airport. According to reports, UK has the plan to deport 29,000 Nigerians. The decision of the British government to send away those living in its country illegally has generated controversy. Alexia Thomas, a Nigerian-born British human rights activist and chairman of the Commonwealth Liberation Party (CCLP), a registered political party in England, has embarked on a massive campaign to protest the decision. In a statement issued on Monday, Thomas, who gave UK an ultimatum of 2 weeks to rescind on the decision, described the act as an attempt to depower colored people. And President Muhammadu Buhari has said that compared to his first coming as the military head of state in 1984, when he could order the arrest of alleged corrupt individuals and put them in protective custody and prove in protective custody to prove their innocence, dictates of the rule of law and due process have slowed him down in prosecuting corrupt officials now. He spoke in Tehran, Iran Republic, at a forum with the Nigerian community. He told the audience that treasury looters in Jonathan administration have started returning stolen funds. Buhari said those accused of corruption would have been prosecuted by now, but for the need to thoroughly investigate them with a view to gathering enough evidence to facilitate their prosecution. And within 24 hours, 2 bomb attacks, one of them involving an 11-year-old female bomber, has killed dozens of people and wounded more than 120 others in the Nigerian cities of Yola and Kano. According to a local Red Cross official, Aliyu Mai Kano, 31 people were killed and 72 others injured in a bomb blast that occurred last Tuesday evening in the northeast city of Yola. It was not clear whether the blast was from a planted device or the work of a suicide bomber. An official from the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Sahad Bello, gave a slightly higher toll of 32 dead and 80 injured, while hospital officials gave newspapers an even higher total number. And on the foreign scene, Tunisian President Beji Caid Essebsi has declared a 30-day state of emergency in Tunisia, and its capital, Tunis, is being placed under an overnight curfew. The curfew came after an explosion killed at least 12 people in the country's capital. The blast hit a bus carrying members of the country's elite presidential guard on a tree-lined avenue in the center of Tunis. Security and presidential sources said the explosion was an attack and that it was not immediately clear whether it involved a bomb or an explosive fired at the bus. And still on the foreign scene, China's Commerce Ministry recently caused a stir when it publicly admitted that Chinese investments to Africa had fallen by 40% in the first half of this year. Some saw the sharp decline as a sign of the broader impact of China's slowing economy. Others, however, said it is more related to Beijing's changing approach to investments overseas. Analysts are also asking if Western countries and companies will take this time to recover some of the business ground in Africa they had lost to Beijing in recent years. The factors also are connected to speculations that China's need for natural resources, including minerals produced in Africa, is much less than what it was in the past. The United States military has backed up Turkey's claim that Turkish pilots warned they crashed Russian jets 10 times before it failed to give a response before shooting it down after it briefly entered Turkish airspace. U.S. Baghdad-based military spokesman Colonel Steve Warren, in a video call with reporters, said the American military were able to hear everything that was going on since communications were on open channels. The Pentagon also added that U.S. forces were involved in the Turkish downing of the Russian jets. And in sports, Nigeria's female under-17 team Flamingos will camp in the nation's capital, Abuja, ahead of their 2016 under-17 World Cup qualifiers game, which begins on January 8, 2016. The Nigerian side would play against either Botswana or Namibia. According to the Nigerian Football Federation, the Abuja International Stadium was our preferred choice. Defending the choice of venue further, the NFF said the weather condition in Abuja was perfect, adding that there won't be any form of distraction ahead of the qualifiers. And that's the news for you this evening on African Free Press Television. For more stories, please do log on to our website at www.africanfreepress.com. Follow us on Twitter at African Free Press. Like our Facebook page at African Free Press. Join us in our interesting discussions on various topics and the Nigerian polity and abroad on African Free Press Forum, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at African Free Press. From me, Leo Oketa, this is the news as edited by Chiadiko Vitasi. Do have a lovely evening.